Welcome back to Project Bimmers. Back in the lab working on these C-pillars from the e38 project that I got going on. It was supposed to be a pretty simple project. I ran into some issues doing them because of the way that BMW decided to put the glue on these. This glue here, I'm gonna see if I can give you guys a close-up of this. It's really glued on there. Now if you can see my finger here, touch this, see that, how it comes off. See that? Now that's the kind of thing that's all on there, but the only problem is once you kind of get that off, usually what I would use is like a wire brush to get that off. I brush it all off and then it get down to the plastic. But this has some kind of a fabric under it. I don't know if you can see here. See this fabric? This black fabric is all over the whole panel. So once you get the glue off, that fabric was glued onto it first, I guess, and then they put the material that they were going to use to cover it, the gray shit, they put that on there. The gray peeled off, then this was left under there. I thought that was all, but then you have this this black cloth on there that's glued on. So no matter how you try to sand that off, scrape that off, dude, I'd use all type of chemicals to try to get it off. Everything, it just, there's no point. It's not coming off. So what you would have to do, in case any of you are out there trying to recover your C-pillars and you run into this issue, what I did was either you're gonna have to get some foam, maybe like an 1/8 inch foam. I was gonna try to get myself some 1/8 inch foam. You're gonna sand this orange looking stuff off as good as possible till you get down to the black. If you can see in there, there's some the black is exposed in there too. Like if you can pretty much get all that off, that's just the glue is just shot, so it'll come off. You can just get that off easily. You can sand it off, whatever, and you're gonna be left with that black stuff. Now that is not the plastic, and that's actually, dude, that is on there. There's no way you can get that off in one piece. If you get it off in patches, you're just gonna mess it up even worse. You're never gonna get it all bare down to the plastic, no matter what. So if you lay a very thin layer of foam or some kind of material, this is what I decided to use, that has a foam backing on it. You see this vinyl here is perforated black, and it has a foam backing. Even though the foam in this case is a bit thick, since it's for the C-pillars, not really a problem. See, they wrap pretty good. And then this is the light that's gonna go in there. So what I'm gonna do here is I had to trim this area out so that this could fit, because the material was so damn thick that this doesn't fit in the factory location. You see how this has a lip on it? This has to sit inside of that plastic part that's under there. And then these 3 clips have to clip on. With that material, it's gonna be too thick, so I had to trim off inside so that could seat properly. I test fitted it, fits pretty snug. I'm gonna paint that black with this, get that done. And that's why I masked that off. That's where the light's gonna be shining, so I don't wanna paint that. I won't be able to see the light, but everything else I'll paint black. And that part right there is the switch. It's already black, but I don't want to overspray it black again. Just leave it the way with the factory finish that it has. Pretty much that's what I'm up to now. I gotta sand this off, like I said, and then wrap it with this. I'll let you guys see that process a little later on when I get prepped for it. But this is just what we're up to now. behind the scenes project Bimmers with the e38 interior swap. Some of the interior panels I had to create a way to make them black myself. This is the way we decided to go with the C-pillars. I used this same paint to do a lot of the other door sills and kick panels and other things like that. So I use this for those parts. And yeah, for the most part, everything is coming right along. So see you guys soon. Got the wire brush out. See, if you notice when I'm scraping this off, it's getting that glue off, but it's still leaving this material on there. And that's the issue that I have. You can't really put any new fabric on that without some kind of like a foam barrier, or else you're gonna have like especially if the fabric is thin, you're gonna have like little pieces of that, I guess you could call it a nap that it has on there. I don't know what kind of material they use for that, but this comes off fairly simple. Like I don't even have to apply much. Get that off. I'll do it off camera since I'm only holding it with one hand. Basic scrub that off. That comes off. Once that's off, now that I know the next step, I don't have to really waste too much time trying to get that off. I know it's not coming off. I'll just start wrapping it. I got a piece of that material pre-cut. It's already fairly sticky with that residue that's on there. So when I'm putting this glue, I'm using this simple foam and fabric adhesive. Very simple. It's not what I would use on most projects, but this is actually perfect for this. It's going to be stuck in one little corner. This is already sticky to the touch, so that'll add an extra adhesive. The material has a foam backing, which is formulated for that type of adhesive, so it should work out fine. All right, so once I'm done with that, this has another insert for the light that goes in here, just like that one. I'll mask that off as well, paint it, use that, and then these will be ready to go back in the car. Once they go back in the car, that rear deck still got to get done. See if I can knock that out today as well. I needed some thread for that, which I went and got that from Joann, so that's cool. Start that up, and I should be able to knock that out before the day's up. All right, I'll keep you guys posted. All right, I'm set up. I got some paper so that I don't get no overspray of the glue pretty much on the table like before. See how I got that on the table? I got to clean that off. So this time I prepared a little bit better. I'm gonna knock this out now. I just want to give you some ideas of some pointers that I use to set myself up. I trimmed off the edges of this piece. It had all that extra fabric that they used, so I trimmed that all off. On the back of it, since it's plastic and I'm going to be gluing back there, I sanded that down. Some sandpaper for that. I just sanded the back of that down. I sprayed some wax and grease remover in there as well. Wipe that all down just to pretty much give it a good surface for the glue to stick to. I marked this piece off just as a guideline, so where I'm gonna lay this down when I spray the glue. So I'm gonna spray both surfaces. I'm gonna spray this with the glue, and then I'm gonna spray this within that border as well with the glue. Once that's sprayed, what I can do is I can lay this in here within that border. So that way I made a relief cut there. This will be easy to fold up in there, so that can go in there with the glue. This will tuck up in here. Now with this area, I cut it. I'm gonna have to trim it really close to the edge here because the light fixture has to go back in there pretty snug, and this is gonna be too thick of a material to allow the light to fit in there. So I'm gonna have to trim it right close to the edge. It's gonna be a tight fit, but I did it on the other one, works fine. I'm gonna do this pretty much off camera, but this is just to give you an idea of exactly what I'm gonna be doing. This will be trimmed down. I left it a little longer now so that when I glue it to the edge, I can trim it where I need to. I'll use the light itself to test fit in there, so I'll trim where it's necessary. A few of these mounting tabs on here are broken. This one, so it's gonna be not as easy putting this piece back in the car, but it's whatever. This is what I have. So Project Bimmers, back at it again. I'm gonna knock this out real quick, try to get some work done today, and I'll be right back. All right, so I glued it. I gotta glue the back side now of this, so when I flip it over, sorry, one-handed job. So now see how when I trimmed it off, I just wanted to glue it up to the edge so that I can trim. So this has some glue. I'll glue some here so I can trim this off. Same thing in here. This edge, I'll put some glue on the back of here so I can fold that over. But for the most part, it's all glued up to the edge now. And then I'll start trimming closer, because I don't need obviously all this excess to come over here like that. I just need like just the corner edge, like to right where that line is. Then I'll just trim it over. So that's the next step that I'll be doing now. I'll apply some glue to the back. I'll work in the light fixture there. I gotta mask off the light fixture, paint it black, and then these will be ready to go. So yeah, moving right along. It's coming out nice. In the background, I was making sure that I got the light housings painted. This is one that was still masked off and painted. This is the one that's done after the masking was taken off, so that's how it's gonna look once it's on the C-pillar. So check them out. There they go. So that's another project, Bimmers. Final project, finished. I'm gonna put them in the car now. Recap of the materials that I used. I used this perforated vinyl. I used this ES2000 spray glue. I did use some Duplicolor wax and grease remover spray, and I used the Duplicolor paint. I don't know where I put the can of that, but the black paint that I used to spray these was Duplicolor Vinyl and Fabric spray, same one that I used to spray the other pieces. So all right, next step I got to do is finish that rear deck, and then I'll start putting the pieces back in the car. I'll see you guys later.